Hello, Cheeky.
Oh, hello, Cheeky.
Hello.
You're all under arrest.
Give me liberty or give me death.
Next.
Does that mean, John, that the two of us are going to do the show?
No. Ladies and gentlemen, a short monologue. You're an idiot, sir, said the girl to the chap one evening as they strolled along. You tell me that love is a pain in the neck. If that's true, you're doing it wrong.
Enough of that arrant nonsense.
What are you going to do instead?
Some of this arrant nonsense. Here is a news flash. In a contest held yesterday at the Albert Hall to find the sexiest man on television, called Nicholas Parsons, nobody won.
I say, you fellows, what do you find in a snooker table and in a man's trousers?
I don't know.
Pockets. You were wrong, madam.
Yes, of course, you thought he was going to say green bays.
Have you two finished?
Only professionally. Carry on, young sir.
Meanwhile, in a courtroom not 1,000 miles from Crewe Junction.
The court will rise. The case of Podium versus Rent-A-Bird. Mr. Justice once presiding.
My lord, I am acting for the plaintiff.
And not very well, either.
Shut up, my lord. My client, Mr. Trevelyan Podium, on the night of the 14th of November last, read the following advertisement in the Jodrell Bank Echo.
Silence in court.
I shall quote verbatim.
You do, and you'll clean the mess up yourself.
May I continue, my lad?
Certainly.
The aforementioned advertisement read as follows. Contact Rent-A-Bird for your...
My lad, I wish to call a surprise witness.
Who is it?
The Dagenham girl pipers, my lad.
What have they got to do with this case?
Nothing. But it's my mother's birthday today. I'm on my way with a lovely bouquet.
Order in court, order in court. Usher,
What?
buy your baby with a Dixie melody.
I object, my lad. Those are the wrong words. The advertisement read as follows. Contact Rent-A-Bird for a pleasant companion, delightful conversation, all tastes catered for.
My lad, this cannot go on.
Why not?
I've lost the next page.
Oh. If this continues, I shall clear the court.
That's a hell of a jump for a man of your age.
Yes.
My lad, may I say that I think you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen, and my arms are aching to hold you.
Why did you say that?
Told you I've lost this page.
In that case, just say something off the top of your head.
Dandruff. Thank you.
We interrupt this court case to bring you a commercial.
How dare you? I'll never speak to you again.
What's the matter?
He said I had bad breath.
Don't worry, it's not true.
Meanwhile, in a men's boutique just behind the Vicuna gumboots.
Take that.
It's not nice. I was only measuring your inside leg.
I came in here for a hat.
You want it to be comfortable, don't you?
That's true. Carry on, young sir.
Meanwhile, in Epping Forest, just inside a fairy ring.
I am fairy true love, and I wish you all happiness in whatever you do.
I am Fairy Goodheart, and I wish you all brotherly love to spread throughout the land.
I am Detective Sergeant Grimwold, and I wish you all to accompany me to the station.
Ladies and gentlemen, a dirty joke.
This fella went into a... and he saw this underneath a... and he thought to himself...
I'd love to... that... And he said, whoa, your... really makes my...
So the had a at the and decided that the only way that he could get her at the was to over the wall. But just as he was going to, the fell off. And the girl said,
That for a game of soldiers.
Which only goes to prove he should have painted it blue and joined the police.
We'll never get away with that, will we?
do you think they'll censor it?
No. What's wrong with saying, I've said and before, so they should allow...
Mind you, they're the BBC. They're all a load of... Now over to the news studio where Tom Filth is interviewing Sir Reginald Mulherries, the well-known Conservative MP.
Good evening, Sir Reginald.
Good evening.
And now, I understand you're a puff.
Beg your pardon?
I know. I'm sorry, that's the one thing you asked me not to mention. What a queer thing for me to... Odd thing for me to say. Well now, Sir Reginald, as a fairly staunch member of the Gay Liberation Front, the Conservative Party, do you think the party were right to prevent a referendum on the common market?
Yes, well,
Appreciating that a government accepts the power to rule from the Queen, the King, the Ace. You and your camp followers, supporters, seem to be determined on dividing the pansy. Party, and imposing your desires, wishes on the whole of Homo sapiens. Homosexual sapien. Oh my God. And finally, will you marry me?
yes.
Red sky at night, shepherd's delight.
Red sky in the morning, Hendon's on fire.
Meanwhile, back at the court case.
And when my client arrived in his top hat, white tie and tails at the Eland Pie Shop Mayfair, he discovered that his partner for the evening, supplied by Rent-A-Bird, was in fact a Malayan parrot.
I fine the organist £20 for being in the wrong sketch. Same time tomorrow, Denis?
Yes, my lad, a Malayan parrot, Exhibit A.
Hello, Junkin! What are the details of Mr. Podium's complaint?
The bird waltzed very badly, insisted on ordering cuttlefish, and called the waiter titface.
I think I'm in love again.
Hello, Junkin.
Hello.
Who's a pretty boy then?
Oh, where? Oh. I'm sure I'm in love again.
My lad, I would like to draw your attention...
I'll draw my own attention if you don't mind. I went to art school, you know.
But, my lad...
I'll hear no more of this. I find the parrot not guilty, and it can leave this court without a stain on the bottom of its cage. Another triumph for British justice.
It is night time in a hospital in the Crimea. A girlish figure flits through the wards holding aloft a lamp. She pauses at each bed and gazes down at the wounded soldiers. Suddenly, a battle-scarred veteran tosses fitfully in his cot and speaks.
Here, Flo, put that bloody light out. Let's get some kitten.
I do enjoy this show. It's all bunting and frolic, you know. I was worried about saying that. I've got the wife's teeth in.
My wife's teeth have been capped 12 times for England.
I think I saw them play once. Tall, thin teeth with ginger hair.
That's them. Meanwhile, in the court of King Arthur, not 1,000 miles from Crewe Junction.
Arise, knights of the Round Table, and greet thy sovereign majesty.
Hail, gentle knights, art all present here, Sir Galahad,
Aye, my liege.
Sir Lancelot,
Aye, my liege.
Sir Gareth,
Aye, my liege.
Sir Gawain.
Aye, my liege.
'Tis well, 'tis enough, be seated. Right, pennies in the middle, whose deal is it?
Here is an urgent message for those of you who took down Jimmy Young's recipe this morning. It was incorrect as Jimmy turned over 2 pages at once, and we hope this hasn't inconvenienced those of you who fried your husbands.
Now, here is a request for Mr. Josiah Wedgwood, who lives at 37 the High Street and tiddles the cat.
What a peculiar habit.
It is a little-known recording of Lord Longford singing "The farmer and the cowhand should be friends, but don't let it go any further than that." I've fallen for a girl called Agnes, and nothing rhymes with that. And so I'll sing my song of love the best way that I can. Each time I see beloved Agnes, birds sing in my heart and in my bathroom as well. I think they get in through a hole in the roof. Agnes, you have given me joy and peace, and an overdraft and a cold. Oh, Agnes, it's hell writing a love song for you. So I think I'll go out and find a girl called Louise. That'll be a damn sight easier. Agnes, goodbye, and you can keep the cat.
Now looking forward to programmes tonight on BBC One. At 7 o'clock, the Harry Seacombe Show with guests Cilla Black and Lulu. At 7:30, the Lulu Show with guests Cilla Black and Harry Seacombe. At 8 o'clock, the Cilla Black Show with Harry Seacombe and Lulu. At 9:30, a Seacombe called Ironside. 10:15, Cilla Black of the Day, followed by the Lulu forecast read by Graham Parker. How did he get in there?
On BBC Two, a new panel game in which members of the audience are asked to guess who Lady Barnet is. This will be followed by film night in which Philip Jenkinson will spit over the camera a lot. After this, he'll show us a couple of clips and then put them back in his hair. Following this heady excitement, programmes continue in a lighter vein with a special show of the week starring Harry Seacombe, Cilla Black, and... Oh, this is rubbish. Turn it over to the other side, will you?
Tuft, the new perfume from Paris, just for you. The subtle yet seductive scent that no man can resist. Yes, any girl who wants to get anywhere nowadays gets Tuft.
Meanwhile, inside the belly of the Trojan horse, not 1,000 miles from its head...
I do think this is a marvellous idea, don't you?
Yeah. I just wish they'd found us a more dignified exit.
And in another part of Greece...
Diogenes!
Yes?
It's your turn in the barrel. Meanwhile, in a lady's hairdresser's, not 1,000 miles from the curling tongs...
I see you with a sort of golden autumn rinse, swept up and back-combed, bouffant over the ears, and one little kiss curl in the middle. How do you feel about that?
Please yourself, I've only come to unblock the drains.
I, sir, am an astronaut and have just returned from a pub on the moon.
What was it like?
No atmosphere. Ah, well, in that case, you take a drum. Who's a drunken bum? Then you take a bass. Who's a damn disgrace? And a pianist who's always flat. And then you have this.
A wanderer I, with my stick in my hand, sing ho for the road to Plaistow. The wind and the weather just make me feel grand. Sing ho for the road to Plaistow. Oh, daffodilly and derry down, down, the leaves will be be green and the nuts will be brown. I'll have to turn left when I reach Canning Town. Sing ho for the road to Glasgow. A fig for Swiss cottage and for Kensal Rise. Sing ho for the road to Glasgow. I strive for the best and the East is my prize. Sing ho for the road to Glasgow. O daffodil, come famine or feast. A man without spirit is naught but a beast. And I bet I get mugged when I reach Stratford East. Sing ho for the road to Glasgow.
We apologise for the fact that our programmes are running a little late, but this is due to a technical fault in Tony Blackburn. It will therefore be necessary for our next 3 programmes to be broadcast simultaneously. So here are Z-Cars, Gardener's Question Time, and a book at bedtime. We'll give you that just once again.
Z-Cars.
Gardener's Question Time.
And a book at bedtime.
To Drink at the Fountain by Juliana Holloway, Episode 8.
Spring came early to Broadmead that year. To Harvey, walking down the lane, suitcase in hand, memories came flooding back of...
2 ponces in the public bar and that one-eyed tat from the docks.
If he starts on me, he'll get a mouthful of...
Leaf mould and compost in equal parts. Spread this on the...
dining room table with little cucumber sandwiches. It was just as Harvey remembered it. Mother, still like a Dresden shepherdess, fragile and sweet, gave an impish smile and murmured,
Get stuffed, you big git! Nobody's pushing me into...
a bone china teapot. Just look at these. It was Dorothy from the French windows, as he had always pictured her, with an armful of...
fertilizer. On the other hand, you may prefer to bed down early with...
Sergeant Lynch. If he's not there, get hold of...
Dorothy's bosom, heaving with emotion.
I can assure you they look lovely side by side. Particularly if you have one red one and one blue one. Don't forget, this is also a good time of year for...
robbery with violence, indecent exposure and grievous bodily harm.
Yes, please, said Dorothy. And she clapped her...
tulip bulbs. But they do tend to wilt in an early frost.
Look, son, there's a dead body being found in the car park. I want to ask you a few questions for a start, like...
Will you marry me? Dorothy blushed like a...
dead ferret I once found behind the potting shed. I think he must have got there...
by cycling from Runcorn.
But he can't. He can't know for a fact that he was in the Red Lion that night playing the piano.
which is a habit ferrets have that not many people know about. Another question that gardeners often ask me is, how can I treat a vegetable marrow that has...
been in love with Dorothy since she was a schoolgirl? I can see you now, smiled Harvey, in your little summer frock with the...
handcuffs, truncheon, and a couple of tear gas bombs just in case.
Why, Sarge, he expecting trouble in...
the back pocket of Harvey's trousers. Pulling it out, he said, I know this is only a photograph, but it'll give you some idea of what it looks like. Good heavens, said Dorothy, it's...
the biggest stick of rhubarb in East Anglia.
Harvey said nothing. He simply...
smashed her over the head with a water jug, stole her holiday money and got out of town disguised as a...
turnip and a bag of King Edwards.
Oh, Harvey, said Mrs. Hetherington, how sweet of you to get Dorothy.
in the club with 2 drag artists and a dodgy soprano.
There's only one way to stop him, Sarge.
Cut off the end with a pair of secateurs.
It'll never be the same again, said Harvey, smiling bravely.
This could have been due to too much weed killer, Or
Doing it out in the open where everyone can see. That's your job. What's the good of a uniformed copper creeping round corners?
Kissing Harvey on the tip of his nose.
and using a dibber where it's needed most. But the short answer at this time of the year is...
Grab the villain by the scruff of his neck, sling him into one of the charge rooms and...
Become the mother of his child.
Good evening and welcome to the Dennis King 22 minutes and 45 seconds. Tonight, I feel like $1 million. Did you hear about the idiot who wanted to watch cabaret, so he took the carpet up to see the floor show? I've got a song to sing just for you. I like to see Raquel Welch in a sweater. It's the way she pulls your eyes over the wall. You fill my world with music. Have you heard the elephants of the zoo have gone on strike? They're tired of working for peanuts. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, and now I'd like to...
But you can't, can you?
Who's been talking?
Mr. King,
Yes?
I'm from the Performing Rights Society and I've got a complaint.
What?
You're not performing right.
Here is a Gale warning. Harry Gale, leave my wife alone or I'll smash your teeth in.
Excuse me, I'm collecting for Nicholas Parsons.
Oh, very well. Here's 5p.
Oh, good. I've got enough to buy him now.
Little-known facts that nobody cares about number the bridges of Paris.
Did you know that the little Sussex village of Rottingdean was named after a decaying clergyman?
Meanwhile, in the little Surrey village of Smelly Vicar...
Excuse me, I'm the new vicar. Are you a verger?
What, at my time of life?
I'd like your advice on the subject of the widow's mite.
I shouldn't bother to do a sermon on that. There's only two in the village and they both do.
Oh dear, I've got a feeling we'll get some complaints about that.
Yes?
Hello, this I'm the Archbishop of Canterbury.
Rubbish. He's a much taller man.
Oh. Would you believe Mrs. Mary Whitehouse?
Get off.
I'm going to complain about this to the Race Relations Board.
Would you believe it?
40 years ago, teenager Edith Soap lost her engagement ring in the back garden of her family home in Swanage. Yesterday, whilst weeding in the same garden, her son ruptured himself.
Meanwhile, in a musician's garret in Germany, halfway through the first movement...
Come in.
Good evening. Are you Mozart?
Certainly not. I haven't had a drop all day.
Crazy gang, Amadeus Mozart?
Wolf.
Never mind the dog impressions. Give us a tune.
What?
I've written this little song and I need some music.
What is it called?
Love is a kick in the kidneys.
I don't do the romantic stuff. Get hold of Beethoven.
He's gone deaf.
I told him he would if he didn't stop it.
Just a minute. Hi, fans. Dennis King, writer, composer, star, and corns cut while you wait.
How could you go away?
Shut up. I'm the musician on this program. Why wasn't I allowed to play Mozart?
Because you can't do a German accent and you're a rotten actor.
Oh, I accept your apology. I'd like to continue with a little monologue entitled The Desert Dogs Run Faster 'Cause the Trees Are Farther Apart.
Must you?
Yes. There comes a time when a man is down and his enemies gather to scoff, but deep in his heart, a still small voice will always say,
Dennis, get off.
Very well, but I warn you, you've heard the last of this. See you later, fans. What, no applause?
Hello?
Hello, this is the Race Relations Board. I've got two people here complaining. One is the Archbishop of Canterbury. Hello, Your Grace. Hello. And right next to him, Mrs. Mary Whitehouse. Hello, Mary. Hello.
If you don't stop ringing up and impersonating people, I'm going to report you to the nearest police station. Who are you?
This I'm the Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police.
Get off!
And now a special summer home hints for the handyman.
How to get brown in the sun.
Open the door and say, "Come on, Brown, it's lovely out here."
Of course, if you don't know brown, it doesn't work. Speaking of suntan, I've got some stuff at home. If you put it on, you go a lovely mahogany colour.
What is it?
Boot polish. I've just been handed a piece of paper with a message on it, and it says, "Your flies are open." In that case, I'll hand you over to Karl Marx.
I remember first hearing the Snake song back in 1917 during the Revolution, which was 78 in those days and not 33 1/3, which is my inside leg. How did my inside leg get in here? Next to the other one, they work as a team. Anyway, where were we? At Mrs. Grabsnitch's, and what a night that was. What's the song called?
Get on with it.
Here's a song called Get On With It. That's the silliest title since Alf Ramsey got a knighthood. All right, Mother, I'm coming. Put the soup on the hob. All right, you old witch, put the hob on the soup and see if I care. Moon over Romford, you're driving me insane. For I'm lonely once again beneath your light. Oh, moon over Romford, as you shine from up above, are you shining on my love there in the night? Will I find her up in Ilford? Is she down in Forest Gate? Has she fled away to Wanstead? Have I left it all too late? Oh, moon over Romford, take a message for her, please. Say I'm praying on my knees here in the dark. And if only she'll return, then once more our love will burn as bright as your light in Manor
Meanwhile, on a desert island, right under the coconuts.
Friday.
Yes, Mr. Crusoe?
I've had an idea. If we cut down those palm trees, we could use the trunk for the walls, the leaves for a roof, and we could build a house.
Yes, Mr. Crusoe?
And when it's finished, Friday,
Yes, Mr. Crusoe?
I don't want you moving in next door. Later tonight on BBC Two, a frog will be discussing David Attenborough's sex life.
Hello?
I'd like to complain about that last joke.
Are you a frog or David Attenborough?
Just a moment, I'll check. I'm green and covered with warts.
Answer the question. Are you a frog or David Attenborough?
Give me that sound effect of a telephone. Attenborough, you're the smart ass who knows all about wildlife. I bought 3 goldfish last week and they died.
Did you change the water in the bowl?
What bowl?
Hello, I'm a goldfish.
Get off the line. I'm talking to this frog.
I am not a frog. I am David Attenborough.
Can you prove that?
Certainly. Have a word with my brother Richard.
Wait.
Well, in that case, I apologise. By the way, Richard, thought you were marvellous in Seance on a Wet Afternoon.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, he caught a cold on that. That's why he's got a frog in his throat.
Get off!
Next, how to do the dashing white sergeant.
Gang up on him in an alley.
Hello?
Hello, this I'm the dashing white... Oh, no. I'll never get away with it.
Why not?
I got a bad leg. Meanwhile, at a girls' school not 1,000 miles from Bessie Bunter...
I say, you girls, I've got a super wheeze.
What is it?
Meanwhile, at a boys' school not 1,000 miles from the girls' school...
Look, you chaps, here comes Tom Merry, the school pervert.
Prefect!
Oh, prefect.
Look here, you fellows. I'm going to cane the lot of you.
You dirty prefect!
Pervert! Where's my fag?
Here I am, Saucebox. What is it? I'm late for gym.
We haven't got a gymnasium.
Who said anything about a gymnasium? Oh, look, why am I always playing women's parts or puffs? Why?
Give us a kiss and I'll tell you.
This week's Any Questions comes to you from a condemned scouts hut in Nantwich. And here is your chairman, George Brilliantine, to introduce the panel.
Good evening. This week's Any Questions comes from the top of a lighthouse in Bury St Edmunds. On tonight's panel, Lord Longford, Harry Seacombe, Patrick Moore, and a girl with big knockers. Could I have the first question, please, from our audience?
How does Denis King get away with it every week?
I've no idea, sir, but here he is to do it again. Every Friday evening about 8:30, forget about the bingo, you don't want to be late. Better call your baby on the telephone. Everybody stopping at the W and Joe. They do a bone dance all go round the floor. They sit 3 out and then they try one more. Rub-a-dub-dub, they're jumping at the club. Hey there, mama, bring the vapour up.
The joint is really jumping about 9:30, and by then they're really flying on the old tonic wine. One old cat gets up and does the lancers on his own.
Everybody stopping at the Derby and Joe.
All the snagging stockings are rockin' and roll. When you need to heaven, man, you really got soul.
Look at old Gus, he's making a fuss.
Hey there, mama, bring his surgical truss.
Where's me teeth?
I think I found them.
Oh dear. Don't do that, Mrs. Hoskins.
You used to like it.
All ending tears.
Things are really moving about 10:30. You gotta spend a penny, then you do it again. Mother Peel is wailing on the old trombone. Everybody stopping at the Derby and Joan. On the way home, we all have a ball. Stop once or twice to make a social call.
We're really sent, every lady and gent.
Hey there, Mama, pass the liniment. Oh,
Stopping at the Derby and Joan. 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 Rub-a-dub-dub, they're jumping at the club. Everybody's stopping at the Derby and Joan. One more time.
I can't, I've run out of tablets.
We present a hitherto untold story, one of the greatest tragedies in English literature since they dropped Chaucer and chipped him. The story of an author whose struggle for immortality was always overshadowed by the genius of his brother William. Hello Cheeky humbly presents Arthur Shakespeare, The Burke of Avon.
This true and tragic story was incorporated in a manuscript in Arthur's own hand, discovered only recently between the pages of the book in Nicholas Parsons' library. It begins as follows.
Bill done it again on me this morning.
You wonder they call him the Burke of Avon.
He come round while I was finishing my new play, King Looney and his 3 rotten daughters.
What ho, Arthur?
I give up, Bill. I'm no good at riddles.
What do you mean?
I don't know what ho it is. Tell me, Bill.
Oh, by my halidom, Arthur, thou art a right twit. I meant, how goes the writing?
Ah, well, it starts on this side of the page here and goes all the way down.
I pray thee, Arthur, please upset me not, lest I should kick thee in the codpiece.
Well, that's all right for you, Bill, flogging your poems to that puffy lord. But I just had my latest play sent back by the Globe Theatre.
Prithee, what play was this?
Hamstring, the Potty Prince of Sweden. They say they've already bought one with the same plot.
Ah, oh, and really oh and ah.
What you talking like that for, Bill?
'Cause 'twould pain me to lose my iambic pentameter. Did the Globe Theatre say who had written this other play?
No, they just said it was about a potty prince from Denmark called Hamlet, and it keeps on happening, Bill.
'Tis true.
Do you remember how they sent back my play, Everything's All Right What Finishes Proper, and put on one called All's Well That Ends Well?
Yeah, verily. Then they put on a piece called Much Ado About Nothing, having rejected your lot of bother about Sweet F.A.
William, Arthur, Outwitty.
Ah, Anne Hathaway.
So I've heard, but I can't get near enough to find out.
Methinks, Arthur, thou should stick to tragedy. Good day, good Anne.
Good day, good Will.
Good day, good Anne.
Good day, good Art.
Good God, what rubbish.
What news, Anne?
Arthur, the Globe has rejected yet another play. They say they can't accept a couple of geezers from Bexhill, as they're already rehearsing 2 gentlemen from Verona.
This King Looney and his daughters that you're working on, Arthur. Let me read it. I might come up with some ideas.
Well, you read all the others, Bill. You didn't come up with nothing. So I suppose it's worth a try here. I'll be getting on with my new idea. It's a tragedy called Romeo and Edith.
Undaunted by his previous failures, Arthur set to work once again. No, Arthur.
Sorry, anybody lend me a quill?
Is it any wonder? No, Arthur.
Oh, sorry, I broke me quill. I'll just read that bit back. Romeo. Mercutio, I cannot go to the ball. I have got nothing to wear. Mercutio. Don't worry, Romeo. Think of a number. Romeo. Yeah? Mercutio. Now double it. Romeo. Yeah? Mercutio. Now put on the doublet and go to the ball. That's good. Come in.
I am Richard Burbage, actor-manager.
Oh, you're the swine from the Globe. What keeps sending my plays back?
In all conscience, Arthur, I cannot keep you in the dark anymore. We have rejected your plays, but someone else has used your ideas.
Meme. Yes, Arthur, I must confess. I can write better verse than you, but I have no talent for construction. I have therefore stolen most of your plots.
Most of my plots? What happened to the rest of them?
Harry Himes bought them and put up blocks of flats.
So, when I sent in the greengrocer from Harpenden,
I put on the Merchant of Venice.
and when you rejected Brass Monkey Weather,
I wrote A Winter's Tale. But fear not, Arthur, we will make it up to you.
so I should hope I haven't had a funny line for 2 pages. Come to think of it, there hasn't been a funny line for 2 pages.
Then I shall write thee one. Here.
I had to shoot my dog this morning. Was he mad? He wasn't too pleased about it.
Methinks I am ahead of my time.
You've been conning me out of my lolly, Bill.
Fear not, Arthur. When all this began, I had a severe attack of the scruples.
Pardon? Oh, I see what you mean.
And each time Bill made love to me, I made him put a golden guinea in the mattress of my second-best bed. Thus have I made enough money to buy you this cottage.
Had I known, I would have given you all my business and we could have bought the street. Arthur, henceforth, you and I shall write together. You the plots and I the verse, and we shall share and share alike.
Everything?
Everything. I will share Anne's bed Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, and you Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays.
What about Sundays?
That's my 10%.
Do feel a fool talking to yourself, don't you?
Come, Arthur, let us begin.
All right, Bill. Here, I got this good plot about a packy what strangles his crumpet. You interested in
I
that?
like it well.
And so it was, the Shakespeare brothers wrote together. And though Arthur's plots live forever, not a word of his dialogue remains. In fact, all that exists is his own epitaph, which appears at the end of the manuscript, and reads as follows.
Though my bones now are aching and creaky, and my quill pen is blunted and squeaky, there's one thing I must write as my final good night, and that simply is this. Ta-ra, cheeky. Ta-ra, cheeky.
Bye-bye, Cheeky.
This programme was written and performed by Junkin, Barry Cryer and Brooke-Taylor. The music was played by the Denis Trio and produced by Bob Oliver Rogers.